Hey everyone, it's me again, and I have a tutorial for you today. So, I recently finally caved into the contour palette trend because my favorite brand of all time for eyeshadow and best eyeshadow of life, Lorac, finally came out with a pro contour palette. The whole reason that I'd skipped on pretty much every contour kit, I don't have Kat Von D's, I don't have Anastasia's, I don't have Too Faced's, I don't have any of the contour palettes, I don't even have the e.l.f. contour palette, specifically because I was waiting for this to come out. And it is a wonderful contour palette with awesome shades. There you go, a little shot of the shades there. Now, I will have a full review of this contour palette coming. This is only the second time I've used it, but so far I really like it, and I wanted to get you guys a tutorial for this eye look because maybe not entirely on Instagram, it's not my most liked picture ever on Instagram, but in person, the last time I wore this look, I got a lot of compliments, tons of requests to make a video on it, so here I am, and here it is. This particular eye look is a neutral cut crease that actually uses the Lorac PRO contour kit. You guys know I have never been one to follow rules when it comes to makeup, and I love multitaskers. I hate having unitasker products in my collection, so anything that I own better be able to do double, triple, quadruple duty. And so I decided the first time I used this palette, I was gonna really put it to the test and do both my contour with it and an eye look with it. Oh, by the way, the thing on my lips right now is Jeffree Star's Velour Liquid Lipstick in the shade Abused, since I know some of you guys are gonna be asking. I did make a lip swatch video of all three of the new blue shades. If it's already up, I'll put it right there. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and if you want to see how to get this neutral cut crease avant-garde look, then keep on watching. Hey everyone! Alright, let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna ignore this. I have no idea what it is or why it's there, but hey, there you go. So this is what we're going for today. It's a really avant-garde kind of cut crease, and I decided to call this look Shade because I am using on my eyes and on my face today exclusively the Lorac PRO contour palette. So basically today I'm going to show you guys that the great part about this particular contour palette is that you can use it on your eyes and your face. There are no rules in makeup, right? So a lot of the time with cut creases, what ends up happening is you end up having to use eyeliner, like a pencil liner, to carve out your cut crease. I don't really like doing that because I don't know about you guys, but I'm not the most precise person in the world, and most of the time if I try to draw two lines on either eye that, you know, with a pencil liner, they're not gonna look the same, and then I'm just gonna end up fucking with it until it cannot be salvaged any longer. So instead of doing that to sketch out my cut crease, I'm going to use this itty bitty, itty teeny tiny Satina Beauty pencil brush, tiniest pencil brush in the world. Just use whatever you have on hand. Just a really tiny detail-oriented brush, and I'm gonna take Deep Contour, which is right here. It's the darkest shade in this palette, and I am not gonna dig into this, guys. These are Lorac formula powders. They are extremely pigmented, very creamy. So I'm just gonna, here, watch. I'm just gonna set my brush down and roll it in the powder. Does that make sense? So you're like barely touching it, and then I'm gonna tap it off, and I'm just gonna use the very tip of the pencil brush. Now this, unlike most of the other looks I do, which are really dirty and grungy and messy, this is extremely precise. What you're gonna do is you're gonna follow the line of the crease most of the way around, just a little bit above, not too far, and then you're gonna wing it out right at the end. So I'm just gonna start in the middle, and I am barely tapping. And of course, in most cases, your eyes are going to be two completely different shapes. So you're going to have to adapt your look to each individual eyeball. And then with whatever is left on your brush, you're just gonna stretch that out. It's not really gonna be a whole lot in the way of pigment, it's just gonna stretch out into that wing. So that's the basics of what you're looking for, just something that starts inward, comes up and out. It's gonna take a long time, you know, take your time, be patient with yourself, and if you mess up, it's okay, it's just eyeshadow, it comes off. Now that that's done, I'm gonna take my little blending brush, this is the Real Techniques base shadow brush, and I'm just gonna blend the top part of that line. So the way that I'm mostly gonna do this now is I'm gonna keep a gradient from the line upward and then keep it solid from the line downward. So I'm gonna take medium contour, just tapping the tips of my bristles in it, and I'm gonna go just above where I put the deep contour shade, and I'm just gonna help to diffuse that out. Get that nice and blended, and then just to extend the blend even further, I got a Facebook message. I'm gonna take light contour, this one all the way on the end here. Again, just tapping my tips of my bristles in here, tapping off the excess, and then go above that again, and just work that. And now that you've got the top pretty much mostly blended, or at least as blended as you can go back in with your detail-oriented pencil brush and deep contour, just rolling it in the product, not really even, you know, getting a whole lot on there, and go back over your line, because you've probably lost a little bit of the deep contour shade in blending, but that's okay, because you can go back and try and straighten that line out. A lot of what I've found helps with this is kind of the same technique I would use for winged eyeliner, so bringing my mirror down and kind of looking down into it, that way my entire lid space is exposed and I can see where I need to improve, any part of the shape that needs straightening out. And then again, you're going to go back every time you apply product, you're going to go back in with a lighter shade. I'm going to use light contour and then just diffuse the upper part of that out. Now that that is done, we're going to take a break from the upper lash line for a minute, and we're going to move on to the lower lash line. Now the lower lash line is a line. It's a line that extends from your lower lash line straight outward, and then from about near the inner corner of your eye straight down diagonally. So it's going to look like a straight line when you're done, but there's no such thing as straight lines on your face. So it's a curved line that appears straight. We're going to do this with deep contour and with our little detail-oriented brush. We're going to start in the middle, just like we did on the upper cut crease line, and work our way out. And then on the inner part of the eye, I'm just going to stop kind of where my iris ends and keep going down. So at that point, I'm going to stop following my lash line around and instead pulling the line downward toward my nose. And then we're going to take that same line on the outside. We're going to follow the lash line most of the way around, pretty much all the way in fact, and then we're just going to extend it straight out. Make sure both of your lines are the same. Relatively speaking, just make sure they're pointing in somewhat the same direction, they're somewhat the same thickness, and you should have a little gap between your cut crease line and your lower lash line. And now the somewhat easier part. I'm going to take an eyeshadow C brush and I'm going to take a beige highlight, which is this one right here at the beginning, and I'm going to fill in my entire lid space. Pat this on the lid, starting at the base and working your way up. Now this brush is quite large, so don't worry about going all the way up to the crease line. Just fill in the mobile lid for now, and we're gonna go back in with a detailer brush. Now to kind of correct any mistakes that we made in the straight line up top, I'm gonna take the teeniest, tiniest little detail brush I have. This is the Real Techniques accent brush, and I'm gonna dip this into beige highlight, and I'm gonna go in underneath the cut crease line and carve it out. When it comes to look like that, it looks like this, the more you practice at this kind of thing, at getting these precise shapes, the faster it's gonna be. It took me so long to do this the first time, and it went much faster the second time I did it. So I'm just gonna go back in with my finger and really opaque that up by the lower lashes. So now we've got the lid space pretty much carved out. The line is looking straighter and straighter by the minute. And now we're gonna do the inner and outer edges. So for this, you're gonna need your accent brush again, and you're gonna need shimmer highlight, which is the third highlight shade in the palette, the biggest one. And we're gonna dip our accent brush into shimmer highlight, tap it off, and we're gonna put this on the inner corner, but we're gonna put it on the new inner corner that we've made through that line. So we're gonna follow the lash line a little bit, and then just mash it all into that tear duct. Now we're going to take that shimmer highlight again, and we're going to put it in the space between the two lines that we created earlier. And this is just going to really define those lines and make them even more noticeable. So starting on the very edge of the top line, and you're just going to kind of create a highlight between those two. You do not have to do winged liner with this look. In fact, don't. Unless you are really, really, really confident with precise winged liner, just don't do it. Just skip it. You guys saw this look on Instagram when I did it without winged liner, and it looked just fine. I decided against false lashes too, because I don't want to hide the cut crease any more than I already am with the liner and everything else, so I just put on some false lashes, and the last real step here is kind of cleaning up if you made any mistakes or anything like that. And I'm just going to use a makeup wipe wrapped around my finger, and we're just going to clean up any eyeshadow fallout, any not so straight lines. And that is the eye look completed. I'll do some awkward posing. Awkward posing. Looking down, looking forward, looking shady. Well, maybe not. I'm gonna go and do the rest of my face. I'm actually going to film a first impression of a foundation that I'm really excited to try, but I'm gonna go do that real quick, and I will be right back with the look completed. All right guys, here is the look completed. I don't have a lip on, I know. I'm gonna be filming another video. This is filming day for me, so I'm filming like 4 videos or something. I did contour with the Lorac PRO contour kit on my cheeks, as well as put some Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer on. So here you go. Here's a little more awkward posing, because I like some awkward posing. But here is your finished look. I hope you guys learned a lot from this video and enjoyed the tutorial. If you did, there is a button for that. Spank that like button in the butt, you know it deserves it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Toodles!